Hey! There we go. There we go. The producer did it to us again. He left us by ourselves.
All right, thank
He
you.
left us by ourselves to fend for ourselves. So we had a little bit of technical difficulties
Just a little
coming
bit.
on the screen. But we're here. That is all that matters. Hey guys, it's Takeout Tuesday. And if you saw my post from before, I know you were probably saying, Takeout Tuesday? What that mean? It mean I ain't cooking. We took it out. We got some takeout. Because guess what? I'm still tired from the trip. But we did not want to not have a show because I was tired. And I was too tired to prepare today. Because all I've done today is go for my walk and come back home. And I took a nice, long, refreshing nap. And we went to get some takeout. That's about it. And now I'm sitting here in front of you. So, those of you that have already tuned in, we thank you for tuning in. And those of you that know the drill, go ahead and hit that share button.
Yes, Rodney.
And we want you to let us know what you're having for dinner. We're going to let you know what we're having for dinner. And then we're going to have some awesome conversation with you guys tonight about our vacation. We're going to share with you everything that we did from the time that we left the house on Thursday until we returned on
Homer is
night.
on.
Hey, Omar. Thank you for
Homer.
joining. We know him as Homer. Y'all know him as Omar McLaughlin. But yeah, that
You know why he's Homer?
Yeah, I remember Homer. I remember how you got the name Homer.
Yes, Homer.
Yeah, so we thank you guys again for tuning in, and go ahead and hit that share button because we want to get as many people in the room before we start our conversation.
We love you, Homer.
Yes, we do. We love you.
Don't do that. Tell Peaches we said hey.
Yes. And those of you that are on, we ask that you let us know who you are so we can speak. And if you tuned in a few shows ago, you know it's an advantage to comment and let us know that you're in the room because then you get prizes. So let us know who you are and perhaps where you're viewing from if we don't already know. So tonight, our meal is coming from Firehouse and it was not sponsored. We had to pay for it, okay? But we got some sandwiches and some chips from Firehouse. And, we always rustle up a little bit of juice. So we got a little juice in the cup. Yeah, we do. And we're just grateful to be home. We had an awesome break, an awesome vacation, and we're just so glad to be home because anytime you go away, you be so hyped to go away, and you're ready for those experiences that you haven't yet experienced. But then when that time winds down, it's still always good to go home. It's good to always be able to come home. So, who do we have watching tonight? Who's
I see Rodney.
Hey, Rodney. I know Jakira is
Brittany.
Hey, Britt.
Selena.
Hey, Selena.
Danielle.
Hey, Danielle.
Hey, Danny, baby.
Sorry we didn't get a chance to see you.
Ruth Locklear.
Hey, Ruth. How you doing? Thank you for tuning in.
As we said, Homer is here.
Omar, yes.
Yep. And that's all I see right now.
All you see right now? Okay. But we thank you guys.
Be some others here, but that's all I can see.
Okay. We thank you guys for tuning in. We don't take it lightly when you take time out of your busy schedule to tune in to us each and every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. And we are so grateful that we were able to be on time tonight. So, yes, let's go ahead.
Is anyone having dinner tonight? If you're having dinner, please let us know what you're having for dinner.
My sandwich. Already started.
Brenda is here.
Hey, little bit.
Hey, little bit. Hey, little bit. It's been years since I've seen or talked to you.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. Carlos. Hey, dude.
Hey. Which Carlos is that? We know a few.
My Carlos.
Oh, okay.
My Carlos.
Yes, Carlos Williamson.
The preacher singer.
I know you had something good tonight, bro.
Carlos, what did you have? I did something. I don't know what I did. Rodney said he had 2 Jamaican beef patties. Kira, what are you having for dinner tonight? Thank you for sharing, Rodney. Tanya.
Hey, Tanya.
Mather.
Hey, Tanya. How you doing?
Carlos said he had pot pie. Did you make it, Carlos?
He probably did. You know he'd over to you.
Kira said, what you eating?
A turkey sandwich from Firehouse Subs.
Same. Lettuce, tomato, cheese, light oil, black pepper, onion. Yep.
I didn't have the oil and the black pepper, but everything else.
And I'm having baked potato on the side.
Baked legs?
Baked potato.
Baked potato, okay. Definitely.
And some juice.
Some juice. So, y'all, our journey started late evening
We're
on.
good, Tanya. Thank you for asking.
Thank you for asking, Tanya. We're doing fine. How are you? Our journey started last Thursday evening. We left Baltimore. What are you laughing at?
Rodney said, Firehouse, don't serve them drinks.
I said we made the juice ourselves, bro.
Because everything is takeout, Kira.
Yeah.
Everything was takeout. It's takeout
Absolutely.
Tuesday.
We didn't cook nothing. We ain't turned.
Nothing.
We ain't even looked at the knob on. So.
And I have dessert. Each one of us. We get a left Twix. That's our dessert.
Yep. That's going to be our dessert.
Hey, Brittany.
So, hey, Brittany. So, we left here last Thursday evening from Baltimore. And we flew to Dallas. Yeah. We arrived in Dallas about 10:30 p.m. And we checked into this fabulous hotel.
Fabulous.
And I feel like my earring is falling off.
Mine probably
yeah,
will
and
too.
mine just broke. I'm going to have to fix it. Yeah. So that means I'm going to have to take off both my earrings because I can't be sitting up here
leave that earring
on camera with one earring on.
We'll put it on the outside.
There we go. So, this hotel was just wonderful, right? It was downtown. It was a Marriott downtown Dallas, and it was within like the Dallas Conference Center or something. I know the next morning when I got up, I went to we called downstairs to see if they had a buffet or breakfast or whatever. And they told us that only room service was available, but they also had like some places within the hotel that served breakfast items. So this was after my walk. I got up and I took a walk because I wanted to see as much of Dallas. Being that I had never been to Dallas, I wanted to be able to see as much of Dallas that I could because I knew as soon as everybody else got up, we were going to hit the road. So I had a very scenic walk on Friday morning. It was really nice. So then when I got back to the hotel and I had showered and everything, I went and in search of food for everybody. So I went out these doors and it was like stepping into a whole new world. It's like I stepped outside of the hotel into the mall. It kind of felt like I was in a mall, but it was like all a part of the hotel building. And I went around the corner and I got some of the best croissant sandwiches. Oh my goodness. They were so good. I wish I remember the name of the place to shout them out, but I don't. And so yeah, that's how our Friday morning started. And we got in the car and we drove to Oklahoma. And if you notice, Angie and I both are sporting our Oklahoma shirts. Did your earring fall off too? Well, I guess besides this being Takeout Tuesday, it's no earring Tuesday.
That's the devil.
So, yeah.
I cannot.
Go ahead and take both of yours out too.
I might as well.
Yeah, you might as well. So, we drove and we had like the best drive. I was so excited that we chose to take our trip in the manner that we did because we got to see things that we probably I know we wouldn't have gotten to see if we had not driven from Dallas to Oklahoma. And
what's one thing that you saw that
the
was...
wind turbines.
Oh, man.
Like, they were awesome. I know it just sounds like wind turbines? How exciting can that be? But it was like a million of them, and they were huge. They were larger than life. Like, we were trying to get pictures and video as we rode. It was, I mean, I felt like a little kid all over again. Like, it was like just rows and rows and rows of these huge wind turbines. I mean, you just kind of have to experience it. But one of the things, like the best thing that happened on our drive, the very best thing
talk about that,
is we got a chance to stop and see Angie's aunt Ann. And we all left that house very much touched and not the same. Like, it wasn't any particular thing that she said or any particular thing that she did, but even from a child, I've always loved to be in the presence of older people. And it was just something about being in her presence. Even though it was her aunt, it was like, when we drove up, I kind of felt like I felt when I was a little kid and we used to go see my grandma. The area kind of reminded me of like that same area. And just sitting there talking with her and looking at her in like some crazy kind of ways, she began to remind me of my mom. And at one point, I felt myself doing this because the tears were just coming. And it was just like we were in the presence of greatness. I mean, I cannot describe it anymore better than that. It was just, it was wonderful because I've only met her maybe twice when she came to North Carolina. One time I think to visit, and then when Angie's mom passed away, of course she came then. And so like I always, remember seeing her. And this has been years, like 10 years plus. And let me tell you, this woman still fly, y'all.
She's a bomb.
Had her earrings on, even though she still had her nightgown and her little house coat on. She had her earrings on, y'all. So that lets you know the level of flyness when she does get dressed. Like, and she's just beautiful. And like, she is just as beautiful as I remember her being. And it was just awesome. I mean, I can't even put that experience into words. It's just more of a feeling that I think I'll always carry with me from here on. It was like I had another chance to visit with my mom one more time, and I think that's kind of like where the tears came in. And if I don't stop talking about it now, they're going to start coming again. So,
don't cry.
I'm not going to cry. But it was just an awesome experience. When we first talked about taking this trip, we were going to fly from here to Oklahoma. And it was like, when we found out about the possibility of taking this trip, was maybe like a month and a half or so ago. And I said to Angie then, I was like, girl, we're going to Oklahoma. And I was speaking of she and I was like, we're going to go to Oklahoma.
You did.
And when we planned the trip, initially it was just Brandon and I. And then Angie and I was walking one day. And I was telling her how cheap the flights were. And how we decided to drive part the way and fly part the way. And because we did that, like the trip was really economical. And she was like, I want to go. And so by us doing that, we just kind of like jumped on the chance to go. But we weren't ready for the experience that we were about to embark on. We were not ready. But, I know you've heard us say before that we don't believe in happenstance.
No,
we don't believe that nothing just happens by chance. That everything is planned and mapped out. You know, the Father has a plan for our life, and this past week we really got a chance to experience um, one of those plans that He wrote out in complete detail, and we're forever changed. I want Angie to talk about her experience visiting with her aunt because that was my experience, but I want her to try to put some words together for what she experienced sitting there with her aunt, and her aunt very much looking like her mom, and over her shoulder to the left was a picture of her mother, and I just want her give her space to talk about that part of the experience for her.
So before Tracy breaks me down and has me in tears, I want to say, what's up, Peaches? Peaches is here. And Charlie's here. Hey, Charlie.
Hey, Charlie.
We love you, ladies.
Yes,
thank you so much for joining us.
Joining.
Tanya said, I can tell she reached in and touched your soul.
Oh, yes.
And she said hugs.
Yes. By all means, yes, she did. Thank you, Tanya.
I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't know what I would walk away with. I just wanted to see my aunt. Like Tracy said, she's 89 years old. She'll be 90 in April. Mm-hmm. And I didn't realize she was 10 years older than my mom until, she told us how old she was. And it just really blew my mind. My mom has always looked up to her big sister. Mm-hmm. And I remember when she would come from Oklahoma, my mom's face would just light up and they would sit in the room on the bed and just talk for hours and not sleep. And sometimes I miss my mom more than others. And I've really, really been missing her lately. And I just wanted to kind of reconnect and kind of touch a part of me. Being away from a lot of family, being away from a lot of family is kind of tough. Mm-hmm. And especially when you see other people connecting with their parents and mm-hmm. grandparents, mm-hmm. people our age connecting with their grandparents even.
Right.
And so going on this trip gave me an opportunity to see again my mom mm-hmm. and my grandmother and yes. just touch that place that hadn't been touched in a long time. My aunt is doing great.
Yes,
she looks amazing.
Yes,
her faith is remarkable. Mm-hmm. She kept saying that she didn't look the way she wanted to look. Like Tracy said, mm-hmm. she had on earbobs.
Yeah, she did.
With her house dress on. And it just did my heart just so good just to see her. Mm-hmm. And to be able to surprise her mm-hmm. and love on her. She didn't know that we were stopping by. Mm-hmm. And when she first saw me, I gained quite a bit of weight since the last time she seen me. So she didn't recognize me at first. She said if she take that mask off her face, I might know who she is. And when she recognized me, it touched her, and that just really did something mm-hmm. for me. My mom looks so much like my aunt. People mm-hmm. have always said that. So sitting there looking at her, hearing her, talk about things that she has survived, mm-hmm. that gave me strength to continue on. Yes. Facing certain obstacles in my life right now, my aunt gave me strength mm-hmm. to keep pushing past those obstacles. She talked about how certain things, something traumatic happened to her, and how the doctor told her, if you don't let these things go, it's going to kill you.
Right. And
she talked about having the strength to let go
right.
of things that you cannot control.
Right.
And she began to talk about the wind beneath her wings mm-hmm. and her mother and my mother and her husband who was deceased. She talked about how she survived that.
Yes.
And how if she survived that, what is it that exists that could take her out? What is it?
Nothing.
And it just gave me strength, because losing a parent, for those of you who have not, you have a lot to be grateful for. And I say, love on your people while they are here. There is nothing, there is no situation, no person, no place, no thing that should be able to separate you from loving your family members, your mother, your father, your grandparents. I don't care who it is. I don't care what happens. Nothing should stop you from loving on your people. That is a part of you. That's your life. And it just did my heart, just gave me so much joy. And it helped me push on. You know, losing my mom was one of the toughest things, if not the toughest thing I've ever had to deal with. And hearing my aunt say, I survived losing my mother, my father. I survived losing sister, brothers. And she said, even my husband. But I'm still standing.
Right.
At 89 years old, she's still standing, still pushing. And she's in that big old house by herself.
Yes.
And she is doing the doggone thing.
Yes.
And that, in and of itself, gave me strength to deal with anything that I may be confronted with.
Right.
And I think sometimes we need to go back to our first love, to that root place that will remind us of who we are, the strength that we come from, the strength that we have. You know, when you hear your family members talk about things that they have survived and overcome, it gives you strength.
It does.
You know, it lets you know, I come from good stuff. This is what I come from. And that's what I left. I left with the sense of knowing that what I come from, where I come from, it is the epitome of strength.
Right. Absolutely.
And I'm just so grateful for the opportunity that I was given to even be able to sit down and talk to her and laugh with her and shed a secret tear and to walk in there and see my mom's face all over her living room. It just blessed me. You know, at one point, someone took a picture of us, and it was my aunt and my cousin and I, and we were sitting there, and my mom's picture was right behind us, and it was like she was smiling. It was just beautiful, and nothing will ever be able to erase that memory from me. And I'm just grateful that we had the opportunity to revisit that, or visit that place, and I was able to regain my footing and realize, just like she said, if that did not take me out, the first person I knew, the first person who taught me love, the first person who taught me majority everything that I learned as a child, if losing her didn't take me out, why give something else the strength to do that?
Absolutely. Very well said.
So that's what I walked away with. Hey, Melissa and David.
Hey, y'all.
And Jeff. Thank you for joining us.
Thank y'all for
we
joining
appreciate
us.
it.
Thank you for joining us.
Hey, Mr. Triplet.
Hey, we were just about to.
Yeah, we were coming your way too.
We sometimes I feel like, you know, we move way too fast.
We do.
Move way too fast.
We do.
In our everyday life, and just, you know, getting things done. We're always rushing here, there, and yonder. And this trip gave us the time to just unwind and not really have a written agenda of, you know, we got to go here today, we got to do this tomorrow.
Right.
You know, we kind of like went with the flow. We kind of like allowed ourselves to just relax. And we had some of the best hospitality that we could.
Second to none.
I mean, we couldn't even have imagined having the type of hospitality we did. We could not have paid for this because the hospitality that we received was from the heart. And so many times, like in this day and time, like I said, everybody's just rushing and people are just going
to get their
coming, and everybody's agenda is more about themselves and not about others. You know, if they don't benefit from it, it's not really something that they want to be into.
That's right.
But in order for you to show the type of hospitality that we were shown,
yeah, you can't fake that.
Right.
You can't fake that.
Absolutely. It has to come from the heart. And the persons that showed us this type of hospitality, it was our first time meeting them. So it wasn't like
right. It was.
Yeah. It wasn't like us going into a place that we had ever been before. I've been to Oklahoma a couple times, but never to this part of Oklahoma. Angie's been, to visit family, but never this part of Oklahoma. And it was like whatever we wanted, whatever we could have asked for, before we asked. I mean, before we even got there.
Before we knew we wanted it.
Right. There was a phone call made asking what do you eat, what do you want, what do you like, what are your favorite things, and I was like, oh wow, like this is what I do,
right?
To people. This is not normally what I receive, and there was a part in our visit, and I'm kind of fast forwarding. We're gonna go back and talk about some of the other things we experienced, but I think this is very important to say this at this time. We were sitting at the table, and I began to just reflect in my mind about how lifelong I've been a giver. Angie and I met. People always think she's my sister, I'm her sister. They think. They think we've known each other from birth, or that we've known each other like at least from little girls, but it's not been that long. It's been over 20 years, but it hasn't been like, what you would normally think. And I began to think about how ever since we've known each other, I think one of the first projects we worked on together after we kind of became friends were, remember we did the baskets for the couples at church for Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
And we did this out of our own pockets. Like, we didn't do it.
Oh, yeah, I do.
We didn't sell them. We just wanted to bless the couples.
Yeah.
We just wanted to do something good for
the
people that we cared about, And we wanted to make sure that they had a good love day. So, I said that to say, just using it as an example to say that we're givers, like from the heart, like for real. But like I said before, it's not always what we receive.
Yeah.
And as I sat at the table, I think it might have been Sunday afternoon, I just began to reflect in my mind, and it's like certain things just started connecting about this trip. And I said to our host, I said, a lot of times you give and you sow lifelong. Like you just go and you sow here, you sow there, and you're just doing this for that one, you're doing this for that one, and whatever. And you're not doing it with selfish intentions.
Right.
Meaning you're not doing it to get anything back.
Right.
But we know that the law of sowing is also reaping. You sow, you reap. You sow, you reap. And sometimes just, being human, exactly. We kind of look for it to come back in ways and from places that we sow continuously and things that we, people that we're constantly sowing in. But that's not always where it comes from. Not always. And Minister Borkin I think she preached a message from our church that we used to go to back in Fayetteville. This was her message, right? She preached a message about, her message was about your collard greens are coming up. Yeah. And what she meant was like, you know, you sow and you sow and you sow, but then you finally get your return. She said, hey! And that was the collard greens coming up. And this weekend, Angie and I received some of our collard greens. Like, our collard greens came up, and they came up in a real way. Like, we left Oklahoma touched in a way that our host will never even know, like in ways that we can't even explain. You know how sometimes you give and you give and you give and you give, and it seems like you've come to your end. You know, like you're depleted in that area, and because it's like you don't see a return, and you begin to think, you know, in your human mind, you begin to think, oh goodness, like I gotta stop this, like, because this is not profiting. Is it worth it?
Is it working?
Yeah. Is it
helping anyone?
Right. Am I doing the right thing? Am I sowing in the right places? You know, and it just kind of leaves you in a place to where you like I said, you're depleted. But we left so full. We left so full of optimism. We left so full of faith. We left so full of just gratefulness.
Yes.
And we were running around yesterday trying to find things with Oklahoma on them. And our host was so gracious that they wouldn't even let us go out by ourselves. So we was trying to sneak out by ourselves, and we was trying to do something else as well.
We were.
However,
we were.
We were trying.
Get them something.
Right, but
to say thank you.
But and just know
he wouldn't let us leave. Like every time we were about to leave, he was like, where y'all need to go?
I'll take y'all.
Like, no.
That's funny.
But, you know, it was what we needed. It was what we needed for the next level of our lives.
Yes, absolutely.
Because
absolutely.
Even
that is so true.
Today,
Tracy,
as we sat and we talked about our trip.
Oh my gosh, that is so true.
We talked about how the next level of our lives is not going to be the same as it was before. Mm-hmm. And when you're a natural giver, it doesn't mean that you're a natural receiver. Right. And in order to get to some places, you have to be able to receive help. You have to be able to be a receiver. And sometimes being a receiver means receiving help. Yeah. I don't mean help in the sense of you're a charity case and you're down and out, but it means you have to be able to receive wisdom from other people. You have to be able to receive correction. Absolutely, you have to be able to receive correction. You have to be able to receive constructive criticism, because you don't always know where all this stuff is going to come from, and you don't even know, you don't have the plan for the next place. It kind of unfolds as you go. And if you're not able to receive and to be a recipient of whatever it takes to get you to the next level, then you may miss it.
So true.
And levels are not something that you can skip. Even though we want to skip from A to Z, it's a whole lot between A and Z that we had to learn, that will teach us, that will strengthen us, that will allow us to grow. So, like,
and you can't elevate on your own.
You can't.
You can try.
You can try, but it's people in line waiting to help you get to the next place. It's people waiting with sustenance. It's people waiting with wisdom. It's people waiting with finances. It's people waiting with whatever you have, whatever they have that you need, and they're willing to give it. But the problem comes in if we don't know how to receive. You know, sometimes we turn down stuff and trying to be polite. Oh, no, thank you. Right. But it's something that you need.
Right.
You know, so it's like
and something that you've been giving for so long.
Right.
How many times have we opened up our homes and our children were like, How many? How many times have we given our last to make sure that someone else had?
Right.
Because when we were doing those baskets, that was that around the plasma time? We had
no money.
We didn't.
We had no money.
And we were giving to couples. Many were better off than us.
Right.
You know?
Something Angie said today, I think we were in the car. She was like, girl, you know what else I learned? She was like, well, I learned we do too much. Like, it's okay to start doing like on a minimal level. Like, we just do too much.
We do way too much.
But it's just who we are, It's just who we are. We can't help it. But this week in the hospitality that was shown to us spoke volumes. Like, we cannot.
It was unbelievable.
Even put it into words because
they didn't know us. Like, that's
right.
That's the part. Right. Oh my goodness. Wait.
And guess what? They watch. They tune in.
Oh gosh.
Conversations in the kitchen too.
They opened up their home and okay. So this is what blew my mind when everyone left and left us at the house.
Let me tell you.
I was scared to move.
Folks don't.
I was like, they have to have cameras in watching us.
You in their house when they know you.
I was like,
much less not knowing you. No,
and I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it 100.
I know what you about to say. If you ain't gonna say it, I'm gonna say it.
We were trying to they were so just hospitable. We were like, well, what can we do? So we were trying to like clean up our areas that we messed up because while they were there, they wouldn't let us do anything. So we were like, this is our opportunity.
Right.
So we ran. We were like, hurry up before they get back because they're going to make us sit down. And so I'm cleaning the counter off, and it was this envelope.
I know that's what you was getting ready to say.
And it was an envelope from the bank, right?
And it was not flat.
And it was like this, right? It was thick.
Right.
And I wiped all around it, and I was like, I don't even want my fingerprints on this envelope. So I took the rag and I knocked it over to the side. But I was like, who does this?
And then look, wait a minute. Remember we were going to go to church on Sunday? And we got ready to go out the door, and then there was like this real nice looking bracelet on the thing. And I was
like, they just leaving stuff around. I wanted to put it up like, don't do this. Not that we would take it.
Right.
But y'all can't be trusting everybody. I guess you know who you let in your home.
Right.
But good grief.
But it on the flip
to
side,
their heart.
It made me feel good. It made me feel like I was
did they trust us?
Right.
It blew my
But I guess they
mind.
say we know where to find y'all because y'all be on that camera every Tuesday night.
And then, so I want to talk about Sunday.
Yes.
I'm gonna kind of jump.
And we're gonna come all the way back to Thursday night, but Friday night.
Sunday we went to church, and yeah, y'all know. Let me just be real. I've been doing church since I was 4 years old, and I'm about churched out. Honestly, I'm about churched out. And we went to church, and I was like, well, let's just go and just to go. And from the time we pulled up to the time we left, I felt something that I had not felt in years. The love, the genuine, just sincerity of everyone in there. It felt like, churches now are not full because of COVID.
Right.
So we were spread out, and it wasn't as many people as they have members, like we knew that. But the love that we felt, it felt like the building was full. From that praying deacon.
That man prayed.
to the singing first lady,
Yes.
to the preaching pastor.
They like to kill Annie.
Y'all, I haven't been that weak in a long time. I looked down at Brandon. I said, I think I'm going to need some tissue. I'm going to need some tissue. It's been a very, very long time since I felt the presence that I felt the way I felt it. It's been a very, very long time. First lady. Okay, so first of all, let me tell y'all something. Okay. So she won me over with her music selection.
Right.
Y'all know, Tracy said, did you call me a groupie or Shayla?
We probably both did.
Call me a groupie. I am down for people from Fayetteville, North Carolina, and surrounding areas, okay?
Right.
She sang Todd Galbraith's song,
She did. Right?
You Are Good.
Mm-hmm.
Not only do I love the song, but that woman sang the mess out that song. So I'm broken, and I'm like, okay, she's about to wrap it up. And I'm saying, take it home. Take it home. And she starts singing again. I was like, is she trying to kill me? I know she could see me. And I was just beat down, just crying. But when people are sincere, you can feel it. When they mean what they're singing, when they mean what they're saying, you know.
Yeah.
You know. And it was one of those situations. She has a beautiful voice. I couldn't even enjoy her voice because I was so broken down. It just tore me up.
Yeah, it was good.
And the deacon.
That man prayed. Well, it wasn't one of them generic prayers that you can repeat everything with him either.
Oh no, he smashed that.
That man prayed.
He prayed.
He went to the pastor and went back.
That man reached the throne with his prayer.
Yes, he did.
Like the church experience, the fellowship, let me say this. The worship experience from Sunday made me hate leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I felt Sunday is what I have longed to feel and haven't felt in years. That's what I grew up feeling. When the people were real, and it wasn't about the offering, and it wasn't about the outfit.
Right.
You couldn't tell that first lady from any other member if you didn't know who she was.
Right.
She stood right on the choir stand. She sang. She didn't have to have all this hoopla. It was beautiful.
It was.
And let me tell you how they really got me. When the pastor said, it's dress down Sunday. Say what now? I said flesh and blood did not reveal that to you because I ain't had nothing to wear. I was in there struggling trying to find something. And what I brought, I couldn't wear it. So I was like, oh, he done worked this thing out. Do you hear me? And he stood in that pulpit and preached like he was preaching to thousands of people and touched my soul.
Absolutely.
I wondered how he was going to pull it off because he was with us. And so much so that I prayed and I was like, please don't let him miss you by being everything that we need before service. But when I tell you, he talked to somebody on high and they talked to him because it was everything that I needed.
Absolutely.
And I sat there and cried. My eyes just kept leaking. I couldn't stop them. And it was such a blessed experience.
It was.
Like it left my life changed.
Yeah.
And I can never, like you said, we couldn't have paid for that. It did something for my spirit, something I needed. A part that I thought was dead.
Mm-hmm.
It spoke to me.
Last week was that week.
It was.
It was.
It was all week. It just. It was beautiful. And I'm going to stop because I could just keep going on.
It was.
And on and on. Oh, and the lady with the newspaper. Oh, my goodness.
The hospitality lady. Like, I mean, I know that don't mean nothing to y'all. How about the lady with the newspaper? But it was just, I mean, it was like she was chasing us down, wanting us to have one of these papers.
Inviting us back
and
to
then
service.
They're having what they call Park and Praise next week. If you're in the Oklahoma area, if you're in that Evan, Oklahoma area, you don't have anywhere to worship, look up Paradise Baptist Church and go fellowship with them on their parking lot this Sunday at 9:30, I think. Park and Praise is where they're going to have their service on their parking lot. And I think you can choose to get out of your car or you can choose to remain in your car. But they're having their worship service outside on their parking lot on Sunday. And it's just so much. I mean, and I think this is one of my favorites. Sunday afternoon, we came, Saturday night, we came, we went to an event earlier Saturday. We left there, we went to the grocery store, one of my favorite places to go. And
it was cheaper than here too.
Yeah, it was. And we went and we, got groceries. So Angie and I could come back and cook for our host family.
Oh my goodness!
And I was so excited because I was like, and she did. I was so excited. I was like, yeah, this is my time. I could, we can kind of repay them. But we had food left over. I don't never know how to cook a little bit of food. So we had so much food left over from Saturday night. So we didn't have to cook dinner on Sunday, or neither did we have to go out anywhere. We came back home and we had dinner on Sunday, and just sitting there at the table, he began to just talk to us.
Yes.
And just pour out wisdom. And I was like, oh my. Like, it was so needed. So needed.
Yes.
And
the testimony
about
healing and him serving the members and like that's what it's about. Now look,
this the pastor, okay? Let's
talk about that.
He has a member that's sick. I don't know what's going on. I mean, like, they ain't definitely ill, but like maybe had a procedure or whatever. He was up Sunday morning cooking a meal for the member. What? Do you see that happening?
I mean up early. He had to preach.
Yes.
He got up early.
I mean the whole meal. Not just
it was good.
A whole meal. He cooked the whole. Yeah, we got a little bit of the meal.
But he had some family holdback.
He did. He had some family holdback.
He left it at the house for the family.
But that right there, that touched me, cause a lot of them pastors, and I ain't speaking against pastors. Are sitting there like this. Don't take me wrong. I'm not speaking against pastors.
No, you just telling the truth.
But a lot of times they have their hands open to receive, and not willing to open their hands to you to give. And I don't mean like he had some people from the church prepare food.
No.
He didn't call together the women's committee and said sister so-and-so is whatever.
No.
He prepared that meal out of his own resources and his own kitchen, because we were in the grocery store with him when he got the food. So, like...
out of his pocket. Not the church money. Not the church money.
I was just blown away, because that's what a pastor's heart. A pastor is like, if you want to break it down into like family terms, the pastor is the father. And he really has a pastor's heart. Like, he loves his people. Yes. And I know they don't have no choice but to love him the way he loves them. Yes.
I am a firm believer, and this I normally say about in the workplace. If you take care of your people,
Indeed.
Your people will take care of you.
Yes.
If you are fighting for your people, make sure your people have whatever you can give. If you do your part, and when something happens, if you're going to bat for them, you don't have to ask anyone to stay late. You don't have to ask anyone to finish the job.
Absolutely.
Because they are doing it because they know that you have a heart for the people.
Right.
And I know that his people love him.
Right.
Nobody has to tell me that.
And let me tell y'all this. Like I said, we had never met these people. And it's not that we didn't know them. Like, we talked on the phone with them and thus and such. But this man doesn't know me from Adam's cat. He knows one of my children. And have met one of my children numerous of times. But prior to this weekend, all the way back last year, when I went into the hospital to have surgery, this man called and prayed for me prior to surgery. Messed me up. Do you understand me? Because he don't receive $1 a tithe from me. He don't receive no offering from me. He don't receive nothing from me. But that's his heart. You know, and to be in the presence of that refueled something within me.
Yes.
His message was, don't give up too soon. And I was just in my waking life, I was about to stop doing some things. I was about to not be as kind as I used to be. And it refueled some things in me. And Sunday evening, sitting there at the table with him, on the way, before we went to church, I listened to Pastor Stephen out of Mississippi. I listened to him. I didn't hear his topic, but I listened to like the latter part of his message, talking about how when his wife passed away and he had a son that passed away, and he was questioning the father as to what did he do wrong, like where did his faith go wrong, and he was talking about how the answer he received was it wasn't his faith, that her faith took her where she wanted to be, and that was home with him.
He said that at the table too.
Yeah.
Right. That exact.
So, riding to church, I was listening to Pastor Taylor, and she basically was talking about the same thing. Don't give up too soon. So it was so many confirmations. I had to let him know, hey, look, you don't confirm this message. You don't confirm this message. Just sitting here between preaching and sitting here at the table. It was just so much. And I mean, I'll be forever changed for it. And he, like I said, he's the conversation from the kitchen supporter. And I looked at Angie the other night. I was like,
He commented to him like y'all.
I'm like,
Yeah,
girl, we in one of our supporters' kitchen cooking. Like, really? Like, I mean, it really did me some good.
Kitchen.
So I'm about, it is a beautiful kitchen. So I'm about to give y'all a plug, okay? Y'all want us to come to y'all kitchen? Y'all want us to come visit y'all? We will. Just let us know and give us that opportunity to come to come and visit with you guys, because you guys have become family to us, for real. Y'all really have, and like, you know, that whole experience. And then like we got this Friday night. I keep wanting to say Thursday night, but we got that Friday night, and he took us down to see the Oklahoma City bombing site
At night. When he should have been at home.
And those chairs.
Oh my.
Woo! He said, he prepared us.
Yeah.
He said, I'm going to let you know, going in here is going to be a little eerie. And I'm saying to myself, hey, bro, this is exactly what registered in my head. Hey, bro, I grew up behind the funeral home. My daddy was the undertaker. Ain't nothing eerie. I ain't get ready to experience nothing eerie. Like,
and I was like, you don't know how many times we dealt with death. Like, okay. All right.
But let me tell you, I was in the midst of taking pictures and trying to get some video, because it was like every picture I took just did not like do it. You know,
Didn't do it
sometimes you
justice.
take a picture and you be like, yeah, I captured that, but it was like nothing would capture what I was seeing nor what I was feeling, and it hit me that all these illuminated chairs. Some of them were larger chairs, some of them were smaller, and it just hit me all of a sudden like these chairs represent people that are no longer here. The smaller chairs, they are children, you know, that died that day. Some might have perished instantly. Some might have had hung on for a couple of days or weeks or whatever, just finally perished. But it really touched me to see the intricate detail that whoever came up with this plan for this place, like the detail is uncanny. Like you could see pictures, you could see TV footage, but it's nothing like walking those grounds, reading those names, watching, looking at the fence, like there's a
building.
wall that's like charred, it's still charred, and it's parts that they left on purpose of the original building, like where you could just see part of the wall and you could just see like where it might have just been shattered from the blast. And there's just names on of even survivors. They have a survivors wall, and then they have this huge tree that they call the survivors tree, and then they have these two walls erected. There's this long reflection pool, and on either side, either end of the pool, there's one says 901 and one says 903, which was the direction of the bomb. And just to see that, y'all, ooh, it's touching. It's real touching. I'm going in there like, this ain't gonna bother me. But I left out of there. I had to walk on the other side from everybody else because I'm like, whoa.
And I couldn't. I didn't make it all the way around because the chairs did it for me. And when he explained to me that the first time is when the bomb started, and that last time is when everything concluded. And it's like one on this end, one on that end. And in that little space of time, you shift over to the left and see all of these lives that were taken in that small window of time. All of these people left having no idea. And he explained to me some could have been getting Social Security cards or
Right.
It was so overwhelming to me. And then when we left, we rode a couple of blocks down the way. On the corner, across from the site, there's a statue. And you can't really tell what it is when you're behind it.
Yeah.
And
you gotta go see
Tracy
it face
called
to face.
me and said, come over here and look. And whenever I walked around, it took my breath. Because, like, guys, I can't do this any justice talking about it. I can't. This statue is huge. It is huge. But it's the Messiah standing there with his back to the bombing site.
Yes. Weeping.
And he's weeping. His head is down and his hand is in his face. And at the bottom is the infamous scripture that he wept.
Yes.
What? I should have went to the front.
Yeah.
And at the bottom I don't even know if it was intended to look like that
Uh-huh.
or if weather has done it.
Right.
But at the bottom is stained.
As if his
His tears
has fallen on
and caused the stain.
Right. This is stuff you can't even get in pictures because I tried. Like it doesn't even translate into the picture.
That's crazy.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot to take in. And in that little window of time, red, yellow, black, and white lost their lives.
Yes.
Those chairs, they didn't have black chairs, they didn't have
Right,
white chairs,
right.
they didn't have Indian chairs, they didn't have Asian chairs, they just had chairs.
Mm-hmm.
And those chairs represented a life, a
Yes.
person who meant something to family members. And then there's a fence on the outside where family members can come
Mm-hmm.
and hang up pictures. And I felt like I would have been disrespectful if I hadn't walked down to see what the family members had placed
Right.
on the fence. And some were saying she was a mother.
Mm-hmm.
She was a grandmother. She was all we had.
Mm-hmm.
She was the one that held our family together. So now I don't know what's going to happen.
Their letters, there's everything. You can
Teddy
think of.
bears and
Masks.
keychains and
Because these objects are taken up yearly, I was told, in their
Mhm.
place in the
museum.
indoor museum that sits adjacent to
And
the
it was
memorial.
so much.
And because it was nighttime, we didn't get a chance to go in there. I'm not even sure if it's open because of COVID. But these items are literally taken on the inside and put in the museum. So no matter what the people put in on the fence, no matter how weather beaten it is, it's taken and it's kept. And I can't imagine, because to me, if it was one of my family members, that would just forever go on. I want to remember them. But to the public, like, because we're living our lives and we're doing things, and
Mhm.
sometimes it's not even intentional,
Mm-hmm.
we forget about the
Yeah.
lives that were lost,
Yeah.
But what was so crazy, Angie and I were walking along the fence and we were looking at the pictures, and some of them we just had to kind of put the flashlight on our phone, and some of them it was so small we had to literally take a picture and expand it so they
Yeah.
could see it.
Yeah.
But she said, look, it's the lady. I don't know what her name is, but it's like, I've seen her face before.
Yeah. Her
you
family has made
it's
sure.
like, yeah, they've made sure that her
picture
face
and
has been,
story has been out
been
there.
told, right? So if you're ever in that area, it's worth you taking the time to go down there and walk through, whether you go at night or in the daytime. It's worth you going down there to see it, because it's really touching. And it kind of lets you know, again, how, we just kind of need to slow down some and remember, don't allow it to just, these lives to be lost for nothing, and remember what happened.
Right.
that
And allow
how
their
life can
lives.
just be changed in a moment.
Right.
Even the family that we lived with, we stayed with while we were there, their family was
Yeah,
directly
yeah.
affected by this. And he said, this is not a place that we frequent. And when he said that, and I was like, but you were willing to bring us down there?
Right.
Like, you were willing to go against, like, what brings back painful memories to you for us to experience that. So, again, I was touched. So, yeah, if you're ever in that area, please go see that memorial for yourself, because our description and depiction can't do it any justice at all.
And it had to be ignorance and hatred
Mm-hmm.
that would even cause anyone to act the way, and I know his name, but I'm not saying it, the way that young man acted and to carry out the act that he did. But we left with the exact opposite.
Right.
We felt all of that. We felt the pain. We felt the hurt. We felt that while we were there. Not to the extent that the family members did, but we felt it, and we definitely acknowledged it. But we were able to, and let me say, that impact, it went, he was in one area, and the family we stayed with, he explained that his wife was pregnant, and she was, I don't know, a block or two.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
About 2 blocks up away from the actual blast.
Yeah.
And it blew all the windows out of the building. And that impact in the natural, and then mentally, emotionally, spiritually, it didn't just cover that one little area where it took place.
Right.
It covered a large span.
Yes.
And it touched people. I'm not sure. I don't.
You remember?
Mm-mm.
So basically, she stepped out of that office, but it flipped over.
Oh, yeah. It would have been much worse for her if she would have remained in the office because of the, I think you said it was a petition that failed or something too.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, all of that, it lets you know that none of us know when it's going to be our time.
Right.
It wasn't her time, thank heaven.
Yes.
It wasn't her baby's time,
Right.
thank heaven.
Yeah.
But so many people, their lives were required of them. And it left void after void after void after void after void. And even though she did not lose her life or her child, and he didn't lose his daughter to that blast, they still cannot frequent that area because it's too painful.
Right.
And even though they endured the act of hatred, the love that they had is the exact opposite.
Right.
So
Exactly.
the magnitude of hate that was shown, that touched their life, they show
Love.
that amount of love and more. That could have been enough to cause them to shut down and say, we didn't do anything to deserve this.
Exactly.
They didn't do anything to deserve it.
Yeah.
And just shut down, but it caused them to open up. And that's what we have to do. We have to allow those obstacles, like my aunt said, to fuel us.
Right.
Instead of sitting and moping about these things, allow them to motivate us and push us. I survived that.
Right. Exactly.
So I had to be here for a reason. And when I heard that, I thought about their daughter, and I'm like, all of us, we know we're here for a reason.
Exactly.
But I was thinking, man, I wonder if she really understands what she survived.
Yeah.
And that she's really, really here for a purpose.
Right.
It pushed her mama into labor too.
Yeah.
She hadn't even been born. And that incident caused her mother to go into labor. Could have cost her her life.
Right.
Her and her unborn child. That experience changed my life. It changed my life. And I'm so grateful we were able to walk around and just take all of that in. I'm so grateful we were able to take that in.
Yeah.
And what he did, what he thought he would do, it did take lives, but it didn't stop people from loving.
Right.
It didn't stop people from embracing each other. And it just made me appreciate people who are in my life even more. It made me more grateful to still be alive.
Right.
And I just wanted to share that. And something else Tracy talked about a little bit earlier. She talked about sowing seeds and your collard greens coming up in your field. Sometimes you plant things and you forget that you've planted them.
Absolutely.
I had a garden I started working in. Y'all, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. But I started working in the garden, and yesterday, right before we left, we went to the store to get a big old cup of ice. And the lady said, she turned around, the cashier, and she looked out the door. She said, I'm sorry, because you guys have to go outside in that. She said, but I'm so grateful it's raining. She said, do you know how hard it is to dig in that old hot, dry dirt?
Yes.
Trying to plant a garden. And it made me think about the work I put into my garden.
Right.
But I got tired and I quit.
Right.
But I looked out and I saw some corn coming up.
Wow.
And those collard greens, I forgot about the corn. I forgot about the squash. And I forgot about the watermelon.
Right.
But I see a sign of life.
Right.
Even though I forgot about it, I still planted.
Right.
They were still being watered.
Right.
Even though the rabbits coming over there trying to take everything down. And when that lady said that, it made me think back to that hard work I put in, but I got tired and I quit.
Yeah. So just think what you would have received if you hadn't put the garden
if I kept
on
pulling the
autopilot.
weeds up and working with it.
Right.
We can't quit.
Can't give up too soon.
Cannot.
Especially if you have a goal in mind. You know, sometimes we're working and we don't necessarily have a goal. But I've learned that you know, you can put all your energy when you, I want to say projected energy. If you have a goal, you can expend projected energy because you're putting it towards a specific place to accomplish a specific thing. And sometimes when you start out, you're so pumped.
Yeah.
You're full of enthusiasm. You're
bought
full.
The whole.
Right. And I remember last year was my first year, and I went and bought Miracle Grow and all this stuff because I wanted to, you know, do what I used to see my parents do as far as the garden. And that was the one thing that I remember that we did it as a family besides eat dinner together. Like anything else, we didn't do as a family. So like I wanted to do that with my grandchildren. And so I was so pumped about it. But I had to learn along the way that it wasn't so easy.
That's right.
That these plants were not going to come up by themselves. That
That's
I was
right.
not going to be able to go out there and pick tomatoes.
That's right.
I was going to be able to go get peppers. And I was going to be able to go and get squash and zucchini and
Right.
cucumbers and okra. Oh, the okra. The okra would not stop growing. But I wasn't going to be able to reap a harvest of it if I stopped, you know? And things came to stop me. The weeds came. The heat
coming.
The heat came. Wasn't much rain coming. And, you know, I wanted to give up, but I didn't. Now, this year, I can't say that I didn't because I did. But last year, I was able to reap because I stuck it out, you know? And that's why I feel like this trip was so much needed.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we were excited about going, but like I said in the beginning, we were not ready for what we were about to receive.
We weren't.
And it fueled me in a way to where, like, I'm replenishing some areas that I didn't even realize I needed to be replenished in.
Right.
And even in some areas that I was aware of. But in order for us to grow, the Bible says that one planted, one watered, but the Father is the ultimate one that brings about the increase. So the first two parts of that equation, it involves us. We initially plant that seed, then someone else comes and waters it. So that lets us know again that we do nothing by ourselves. That no man is truly an island. We can't get to where we're going by ourselves. We need other people. And I was reading a few of the comments, and Rodney said things will be so much better if we spread love. But sometimes people don't know what it is to love because they've never received it. Mm-hmm. And that's what I said. We have to be open to receive. Mm-hmm. Because you can love on somebody and love on somebody. Yep. But if they don't know how to receive it and all they know how to do is push it back and push it back and push it back, I do believe you can love them enough that you will just begin to soften their heart. And whatever you do will soften their heart. But you can't get lost in that. You got to keep going. You got to keep loving them, but you have to do it from a place. Give up before. You have to do it from a place that you don't lose yourself in that process. Right. But people are in need of love like never before. So I can't tell you how to do it. Let him minister to your heart and how to do it. If it's in random acts of kindness, if it's just doing something for your neighbor, if it's speaking, do you realize how much a smile and a hello, a good morning, that's it, helps a person out? That's it. You know, it's people that go in their houses. You see them out. You might think that they have a lot of family or whatever. They go in their houses. They're alone for the rest of the day. Yep. They may be in that house.
They might be in the house with somebody and alone.
And still alone. Exactly. So you parting your lips to say hello, good morning, good afternoon, how are you doing, whatever may mean the world to them. You never, ever, ever know. People can have stuff. Stuff does not equate to love.
Does not.
Money does not equate to love.
Does not.
Having these fancy houses, and I'm not against it. I'm not speaking against none
I'm
of it.
have one.
But what I'm saying is, don't be fooled, even by the ones that seem like they're okay. Still be kind. Still show that love, because we never know where a person
need it the most.
They are the ones that need it the most. They really are. And everybody's cry for love and attention is not the same.
It is not.
Sometimes we have to analyze and we have to sit back and not judge when we see people's actions, when it seems like they're being mean, or when it seems like that they have a stank attitude, or whatever it is. A lot of times that's their cry for love. They don't know how to ask for it, but they very much need it. But if you keep on loving them, you know they'll eventually come around. That's everybody's time frame is not the same.
It is not.
You know. Who said?
Baby
hey
Shay.
Shane. Thank you so much for showing me. Girl, I'm not crying tonight. Okay, I done stopped myself one time.
I love you, baby Shay.
I wouldn't have it no other way. I love you. I love you. More and more, much more than I did back those years. As I've seen you progress and I've seen you develop into the woman that you are, the entrepreneur that you are, I am so proud to be able to call you my own. I love you, Shane. I do. I really do.
We love you, baby Shay.
We should talk about you a lot.
All the time, baby Shay. I want to go back to my collard greens coming up. Sometimes you sow and you forget what you've sown. And a lot of times we don't like to be honest, but we're human. Right. And we don't do anything. I know I can speak for us. We don't do anything expecting a return. Right. But when life happens, and it will, sometimes it'll leave you saying, wait a minute. Right. I've lived better than this. I didn't sow this. I don't know where this is coming from. And it'll make you say, what did I do to bring this? Or what did I do that right? Or did I treat this person right? Or did I? And sometimes life will have you, Brittany said we have to conduct self-assessment. Mm-hmm. And we do. And sometimes, well, not sometimes, I always try to treat people the way I want to be treated. Absolutely. But sometimes I go out of my way. And sometimes people around me will go, doing too much? Why? But we experienced something. We were walking. What day we go walking?
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh.
That was the first night.
It was Saturday morning.
Saturday morning.
Yeah. We
went in that sun that felt like the gates had been unleashed on us.
That sun gonna give me a refund.
Let me tell you something. I had forgotten about that Texas, Oklahoma sun. That sun ain't nothing to play with. And Tracy, you want to go walking? We got to keep it up. I was like, yeah. Till I got out there and almost died. So on the way back, for whatever reason, walking and coming back, I was just paying attention to everything on the ground. Mm-hmm. Just like something had taken my attention to the ground. And we walked up to this area and we saw lip gloss,
gum,
chewing gum, phone case, and an iPhone. And I walked and I looked at the phone was face down. And I went and picked the phone up. And Tracy said, "Oh, girl,
I don't watch too much TV, y'all.
That might be part of a crime scene."
And I said that because the placement, y'all don't watch too much. I don't watch too much ID channel. The placement of the things on the ground let me know that it had been thrown from the car. Like you know, these items were not just placed there. Like I could just tell in the placement. And I want to say so bad the trajectory of the bullet, but let's see the here and there.
There was no bullet. There was no bullet. Let me say that.
But just looking at the placement, like, okay, this is my ID channel experience. I knew that these things had been just thrown vigorously from a moving vehicle. Like, I knew they had. And I was like, oh my goodness. They got this person. We don't know what the person is. The person these things belong to. Oh my. I said, don't you touch it.
And I looked at her and said, well, if it's a crime scene, I'm definitely going to disturb it today. And I picked that iPhone up. And I started scrolling. I said, oh, Tracy, it worked. And she kind of,
I'm like,
she don't want to put her fingerprints on it. So I'm looking and I'm trying to get in the phone. It's locked. Trying to figure out how to call somebody. And so I said to myself, if I can get to my producer,
yes,
he is going to crack this code. And mysteriously, he was walking out of the house when we were going in. Mm-hmm. And I said, got something for you to crack, buddy. And he said, what is it? So I told him what happened. And he kind of looked at me.
I probably said no more ID channel for me.
He asked a few questions, and then he said, he tried to call someone. And then he said, go put it on the charger. I'll deal with it when I get back. Long story short, Brandon talked to the people, and he and Mr. Triplet were able to get the phone back to its rightful owner. Mm-hmm. We don't know what happened. We do know it was thrown from the car.
Right. We know it was some foul play involved.
She said
it. Yeah, she said
she
it.
confirmed that my assessment was on point.
Minus the bullet. So, fast forward. some people would have been like, oh, well, that's a new iPhone. And let me tell you this. Let's just be real. My sons need an upgrade. I said, Brandon, what phone is this? And he told me, and the phone is better than my son's phone. But not one time did it cross my mind not to get that phone back to its rightful owner. But I know how we think. Mm-hmm. And all I could think about was, man, she's probably losing her mind without this phone. Mm-hmm. And then I'm praying that she was alive. We stopped, we prayed. We prayed for her that everything was okay and she was alive. So they got the phone back to its rightful owner. Fast forward, to yesterday in the airport. Somehow.
No, we can even go back to Saturday afternoon when we got your phones.
Oh, my phone stayed missing on this trip.
She lost her phone 3 times altogether.
3 times.
That's right. The last
I did not lose my phone. I left it at the house. In the car.
In the car, in the house.
Okay, now it's officially, it was lost yesterday. Somehow my phone and I got separated. And it's crazy because not one time did I think, find my iPhone. Not one time did I think that. Had I done that, we could have located the phone before we left. So we got home last night, and our relentless producer.
Yes.
I've never seen anything like this man. You're not going to tell Brandon no. And like he accept no. And he's not ready. If he has a yes in his mind or more, you could say no all day.
Relentless.
He is relentless. Brandon went to find my iPhone and he said, it's in Dallas. I was like, okay, it's a wrap. And I at that moment I gave up. I was done. Gotta go get a new phone. Brandon said, it's at such and such and such and such. Hold on. Let's call Dallas. And he called. The man was tired of Brandon. The man said to Brandon, all right, I've done all I could do. You can call tomorrow, whatever. And Brandon said, hey, Doc. You don't have a walkie-talkie. The custodians don't have a walkie-talkie. Nobody got a walkie-talkie. The man said, hold on. Brandon, the last thing, he may have said more. The last thing I remember Brandon saying to me is, you going to get your phone back. I'm going to get that phone. I was distraught. I cried probably 45 minutes on the plane.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was so much more than the phone. So much. You know that one little drop of water that could come into a glass? You miss the other drops. But that one little drop can come in and cause the whole glass just to run over. Me being separated from my phone was that one little drop. I forgot about Pastor Triplett's message. I forgot about everything. I was ready to just throw in the towel and just walk away from it. Brandon said, you're getting your phone back. Sometimes we need a voice of reason. We need someone who can stand on the outside and speak life to us. He wouldn't let me give up. He wouldn't let me let go last night.
Right. Absolutely.
I came over this morning and boom, Brandon, I didn't see him the first time I came. Second.
We didn't even know you was in the house the first time.
Oh, yeah. I was all in the house. Brandon! Just screaming. No Brandon, no Tracy. Rode around Maryland looking. Couldn't find him. And I came back. And he started playing with me, telling me, I don't even know what he was saying. But he was like, let me stop playing. Your phone is going to be here. I paid for postage. And I was like, what? He said, your phone is on the way. And I guess he knows. He plays so much.
He does, y'all.
I just didn't know whether to
Especially
believe
with
him or not. So he pulled it up on the phone and he showed me. But how about this? What if that little push to pick up that girl's phone, what if I ignored it?
Mm-hmm.
What if I didn't return her phone? Mm-hmm. What if I kept her phone for an upgrade for my son? Mm-hmm. That's a seed that I would have sown. Mm-hmm. And then my harvest. Isn't it something how the great seeds that we sow, it seem like so long for them to come up. But when we do something bad, no time. It comes up immediately and big and bold like I'm here. It pays to do right by people because you don't know when you're going to need for someone to come in and do the exact same thing that you did. Now, that girl didn't save my phone. But whoever found my phone could have lied. Mm-hmm. We're not in Dallas. Right. And they knew we weren't there. Right. They could have turned my phone off and kept my phone. Mm-hmm. Yep. But my phone is on the way to Maryland. Absolutely. Sow good seeds and you will reap a great harvest. And it's little things like that we don't even think about. Right. How long have I had my phone?
2, 3 weeks? 2 months?
I just got my phone.
Maybe a month.
Yeah, maybe.
Just got my phone. And it could have played out differently. Yep. We never know when we do something, when we do the right thing, we never know what's waiting down the road for us.
That's true.
We never know. When they opened up their home, they didn't know that they were sowing into our lives, into our destiny, our future. They didn't know that. Right. So do you think that the return that's coming back to them is not going to be as amazing for them? People, you have a choice. You don't have to be kind. You don't have to be loving.
Oh, no, you don't.
You don't have to be generous.
You don't.
We know because we run into people every day and they're not any of that. Mm-hmm. But when you are, these things come back to you. Now, was it the phone that brought my phone back? I'll never know. But whatever it was, I'm grateful. Mm-hmm. And I encourage you that when there's a little push, go with it. Mm-hmm. Someone else's stuff, that's not a blessing. The Bible says, blessings make rich and add no sorrow. The sorrow may not be for you, but it may be for somebody else. Mm-hmm. Somebody does not have to suffer a loss for you to be blessed. That was somebody else's phone. That wasn't a blessing. Just like my phone going to somebody who didn't pay for it wouldn't have been a blessing.
Not for you.
I would have felt like it was a curse. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to share that. My collard greens came up. And I don't know what seed it was that I sowed that brought them up. Mm-hmm. But I know they came up and I'm grateful for it.
Exactly. I mean, it's just been every time something great and good happens to you, there's always some kind of opposition. And our phones were the opposition.
How about
this past week, because the day we left, my whole touchscreen on my phone, the lower half, just stopped working. And I'm grateful that I have another phone that I could use. But, it's nothing like your phone. It's nothing like having your device in your hand. But let me tell y'all, Sunday night.
Hey.
Sunday night was the top of it.
Collard greens, thick and long.
But yes, them collard greens was green,
thick
tall,
and long,
and thick.
Thick and long. Even came with some turkey necks. Looked up, and there was some turkey necks sitting there with them. Exactly.
We are always talking about, like, we love music. We love music on different scales, but we both love music. And we're always talking about how, you know, we want to go out and do this and that and the other, but y'all, we live in Maryland. We just don't be real. We ain't trying to go out like that, you know?
Whoo! Yes, you could go from listening to live music to running for your life.
So we'll be, you know, we'll be trying.
Yeah, we don't mess around.
So Sunday afternoon, we sitting around in the house, and the producer says we going to some live music. Y'all want to go? And it was just me. Not answering for the both of us. I was like, yeah, we want to go. What time we need to be ready?
And the inside, I was saying no.
So I went in the room and I said, hey, I didn't even ask her. I told her. I said, at 8 o'clock, we're going to this music live somewhere downtown Oklahoma City.
Because I wouldn't have gone.
And basically that's it. Like, you know.
I was thinking
we gotta
Lawrence
go.
Welk.
So she was like, all right. Like, and you know, I know Angie. So I paid her no mind. I'm like, yeah, you going. So this is one thing that I've always said I'd never do. I said I never, you know, go out and party with my kids. Like, I think that's just like a little ratchet, you know. But let me tell you, we were all up in that thing.
I think we had more fun than they did.
We enjoyed it much more than they did. So we pull up, and that's an outdoor venue, and they have like an indoor bar and eatery type place, so you can go in and order drinks, you can go in and order food, but like the actual sound stage was outside. And we pulled up, like, we was like, okay, like, yo, all right, you know, we feeling this, you know. The DJ, oh yes, well, we smelling it, oh my. They were partaking of all types of stuff.
Yeah, the crowd, it was
outside.
Just, it was broad.
It was eclectic.
Yes.
To say the least.
From grannies to...
Right, so, first thing I'm saying, like, surveying the crowd, like, there's a lot of young people out here, like, I don't even know if they're going to kind of, like, play music that we can relate to.
Yes.
But, you know, we went on and we went inside, got our little stuff and came back.
Nobody looked at us funny.
We set up our chairs. And where we had planned to sit, like, we came back and friends had joined, and it was, like, about 8 or 10 of them. It was like...
And, you know, we still quarantining.
Right. So we like... You're gonna go over here and sit. So we found us a table, you know, like in the thick of everything.
Oh.
Found us a table that was, you know, kind of isolated and spread out. They did do a good job of kind of like spreading their tables out. But we sat there and
it was
how
very
it works.
Earthy.
Yeah, very earthy and herby in the air outside. So we sat down and you know, they told us that there was a headliner, and when we got there, it was like the opener for the headliner, which was the Slash DJ, but he was a musician, singer, and whatever. So he was
a musician, and he was a DJ.
And singer. So he was up doing his thing, and not long after we were sitting down, came on the headliner. That boy sang, you hear me?
That ain't what I was saying.
Yeah. Angie said, I got me a new boo. But it was so good.
Prototype, honey.
Even after, and let me tell y'all how green I am. I'm looking at Brenda, I'm like, is this a real song? don't even know if he remember. I was like, is this a real song or is this his song?
Listen, Tracy had so much fun.
I did.
What was the girl name? Chelsea.
Yes.
Tracy was hollering out names of people and calling people the wrong names. And I was
thought
like,
the singer girl name was Chelsea.
she was like, you better sing, Chelsea. I said, Chelsea is definitely the one on key. Please stop. Please stop.
Look, y'all, I was going with the moment.
We
I was going
had
with the flow.
we
had so much fun.
And then, let me tell you, I told y'all, I go crazy for people from North Carolina.
Yeah.
So Sunday morning, First Lady sang a song by Ty Galbraith, who is from
Rayford, North Carolina.
our area.
Yep.
So that about took me down. Then this guy stood up and started with some J. Cole. I was done.
It was
He
so
didn't have
good,
to do
y'all.
anything else. This boy could sing.
Yes, he could.
He needs to be somewhere. I prayed for that boy that
Yeah.
it would take off for him.
Yeah, because he needed
He's
to be
a performer.
Yes.
He is. Oh my goodness.
He was down to earth though.
He was.
He
He
was
came
down
and
there.
took a picture with
And
us.
then he came to
Brandon's gonna post it later.
and we're not groupies.
No, no.
We're not. We're not groupies by any by a long shot.
Nope.
But it was just I really wanted to take a picture with him to
Right.
be able to say, "Hey, like we knew him when," you know.
Like we never talked. We've been around some famous people. In fact,
Yeah.
we actually both of us we'll go the opposite way
Yeah, because I
rather than
really
stopping
believe,
to
like,
talk to people.
that they are humans and they need
Unless
to be
it's
treated
Ty.
as such. You know, I don't believe in invading their space
Or J.
and
Cole.
just going all crazy over people. Like, I mean, they put their pants on just like I do. Like,
That's true, but
I've
I'm
just
gonna
never
talk
been-
to J. Cole.
I've just never been that type of person. But it was the headliner, and then like they had like this open mic. So if you wanted to do poetry, sing, play an instrument, whatever you want to do, you go put your name on the list, and then they called you up to perform. And everybody, if y'all go back to my timeline, I had to get that. That was me. That was me.
Kiss.
That was me being petty because it was hilarious. But it was just all in good fun,
It
y'all.
was.
Like,
We
I mean, and
had
even with
a
the
ball.
crowd being so young, there was no drama.
I mean, none.
None.
There was no drama.
Nobody
They were
wanted
probably
the night.
too mellow to.
Oh yeah, because them herbs, they was hitting them herbs hard.
They were probably too loose to even
The
raise their
crowd
voice.
didn't want the night to end. Like
Right.
it was people sitting on the outside of the
Yeah.
venue. Where it was like an enclosed area, but it was so open. But then there were people that were sitting outside on the perimeter. They were standing up giving money, like, here, no,
Yeah.
sing this
Yeah,
song,
yeah.
sing another song.
Go play, Chelsea. Sing, Chelsea.
Nobody wanted it to end because it was just so
Perfect,
good.
man.
And I was like, man, what a way to kind of end your
Yeah.
vacation. Like,
Yeah.
and like I said, we had no clue what we were going into. We didn't have anything planned. The only thing we knew concretely that we wanted to do was stop by and see Aunt Ann.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that we had
It was
planned to
one
do
other
besides
thing, but-
what we had went there for, because we
Yeah.
did go for a purpose. And we knew we were going to have to do that. But other than that, we had nothing planned. Like, we were open books and we were just ready to explore whatever, came along. And I was so excited that we went with that mindset, because we didn't go with this rigid plan. We could have Googled stuff and said we're going to go here,
Yep.
there, and there, and
Yep.
there, and there, and there.
Yep.
But
Yep.
we still, I don't think we could have had
Nowhere
planned a better
near.
time what we experienced.
It was
I mean,
classy.
It was.
It was just so much fun.
it was so much fun. I mean, it's one thing to see people on FaceTime and talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's another thing when you get to meet them in person, And this coming Saturday,
Yeah.
we about to meet another one of our supporters live
Our
and in
children.
person. And this supporter
Slash
has
nephew.
become He's gone from being a Rogers Bros supporter, being a Conversations from the Kitchen supporter, to being our son and nephew. So we're excited about
nephew.
We're excited about
financial obligation. Nephew. I do the gifts. She do the bills.
We're so
excited
about
Rodney.
to meet him. He's coming to see us as he's promised on live, like plenty of times. And I just want you guys to know that he was not blowing smoke. Like, he is literally gonna be here live.
And we are so excited about it
on Saturday, and we're so excited. So we gotta figure out how we're gonna get 3 chairs in the shop next week, because he's gonna be on set with us.
Security.
We're gonna have to figure it out. I guess I'm gonna have to sit up on the counter so he can see.
And you guys give us an idea of something that we can cook. Something.
Yeah.
Give us an idea of something next
we want to take
next week.
Input from you guys. I don't always want to come up with something, and I'm always saying, like, let me know what you guys want.
This blessing.
Oh, let me tell you, y'all.
Because now that was a whole nother blessing.
This is not just a container of disinfectant wipes. This is a blessing.
It's a blessing.
Y'all, don't y'all know, in the state of Maryland.
Y'all don't know.
Y'all don't y'all know.
I like it.
In the state of Maryland, in these parts around here, and we look faithfully. We have
every day.
not been able to find
Amazon,
none,
Sam's,
none, Walmart, none. Each location,
none.
We have not been able to find disinfectant wipes. Lysol, Clorox,
and when they do have it, some brilliant person will put on Facebook that it's there. So by the time we get there, it's nothing there.
It's gone.
We had to go all the way
to Oklahoma, Edmond,
Oklahoma,
in the Crest grocery store. And find some disinfectant wipes.
But listen, that was it for me. I could have came on to the house. I started to go and buy another bag just for these.
And y'all, let me tell y'all, I'm about to tell on my own self. We left Thursday, so we had to wear clothes Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, you ain't had
and we
no
had
space.
something to come back home on Monday, right? My bag going weighed 53 pounds. I had to shift some. My jewelry alone was 3 pounds. I had to move my jewelry bag to my other bag, so I wouldn't have to pay $75 for overweight fees. Then I get there, and I bought a couple things. My bag last night was 56 pounds and something. So I had to shift that 6 pounds into another bag. Y'all pray for me. Because I did not need 50 pounds of nothing for 4 days. You understand me? And my other bag with my shoes and stuff in it was 17 pounds. Y'all pray for me. Because I don't know how to pack right. I be indecisive. I don't be knowing what I want to wear.
And me and Brandon, meanwhile, had little bags. Well, Brandon had a big
Brandon's
bag.
suitcase was just as big as mine.
But it wasn't as heavy as yours.
It won't.
And one time she got mad
because
she couldn't pull the bag.
That wasn't helping me with my bag.
Her wheel got caught up.
Did I tell y'all I was spoiled too?
Her wheel got caught up and spun all the way. She said,
"Hey," and we got on the shuttle for the runner. I couldn't pick my bag up to put it on the thing, y'all.
all of us took our bags up, gave it to the man, Tracy, me and Brandon, on the shuttle bus, sitting down looking, and we both have to lean over. Where's Tracy?
I'm looking at him like, ain't you supposed to pick this up?
The man picked the bag up. He said, "Woo." Tracy said, "Thank you."
Look,
he said, "Sure thing."
When we got ready to leave the hotel in Dallas, I go get the cart, and loading our bags on the car.
That poor man.
So we could push it to the car. Man was like, "Oh, can I be
He
help?"
had no
He
idea.
had no idea what he was getting himself into. I did tip him though, but he had
You
no idea. He had
You
no idea what he
should've.
was getting himself into.
You
But
don't
y'all,
know.
I did not look. When I went to Chicago, I still had all this stuff, and when I came home from Chicago, I said, "Look, y'all, I ain't gonna take all this stuff from me this time. I'm gonna do this, and this." And I had my bag packed, and it probably was maybe about 30 pounds. I went upstairs, and I started looking through the closet. I was like, "Oh, I might be able to wear this. I might be able to take. Let me take this. Let me take this pair of shoes." And I
It
had
was ridiculous, Brittany.
a whole bag again.
It was crazy. It made absolutely no sense.
I know. I need prayer in that area.
Kevin
y'all.
Green said, "What you drinking?" Kevin, I
Some
don't
peach
know.
stuff. I don't know. If you watch our show, we always making some type of lemonade. So some
Peach lemonade mixture. I don't know. But what I do know is, if you guys want us to go back to Oklahoma and get some more wipes or anything,
Yes.
you can certainly hit that Cash App and send us back.
Send us
Or
back.
come and see you and cook in your kitchen. We would love to do that.
Absolutely love it.
We would love to.
Do it outside. Sit up the table and get the butane stove going. What's she talking about?
Who that, Brittany? Maybe next week.
She talking about sing, Chelsea? Y'all, I was going to make Chelsea sing, and Chelsea was playing the keys.
Y'all, and I mean, she was loud.
I was.
We were like one table away from that stage thing.
I had so much fun. Oh my goodness. Me and Andrew was sitting there, and look, y'all might take it for a joke, but we were sitting there trying to figure out how we were going to get back to Oklahoma next
Oh,
time.
yeah. That's what I meant to say. We want to go back. And we don't really want to do a GoFundMe. My daughter told me I can't do GoFundMes. So if y'all want to, after hearing tonight, our session, if you would like to move
To sponsor us.
and sow into our lives so we can go back for this next live.
And I guess we can't go back this week unless we take Ronnie with us. So we might not need to go this week.
We can't go this week.
We can't go this week. But next weekend?
Yeah, so you have time, like, if you don't get paid this weekend,
Yeah.
you can sow from your next paycheck.
Yeah. Yeah. And
And
it's the first of the month.
And don't let the fact that you get unemployment stop you, because we happen to know that you still get one more good hit before that good money get gone. So you are
y'all
more
should
than
be
welcome.
saving some anyway.
You're more than welcome to sow
if
into
you
our
want to
lives.
sponsor us going back to
Send us back to Oklahoma.
because we got to go back and see Cooley High.
Yeah, Cooley High 405.
Yeah, Instagram. That's his Instagram
What y'all
handle.
drinking is the question that I got.
We said peach lemonade.
Yeah. And stuff.
And stuff. Y'all.
Yeah, like, because we said the and stuff because
It's got stuff in it.
sometimes you get mixtures like pineapple and all
What
that
else we
stuff.
having
Don't nobody
now?
been keeping up with that. We had
Y'all know I do.
a can of some kind of lemonade stuff that somebody gave us, and
Yeah. You know
it's
how we do.
imagination,
You know how we do.
creativity.
Y'all
Mhm.
funny.
Y'all know how we do.
Shoot, everybody
But
worry about the
y'all,
cup.
we
Worry
are-
about that cash app.
Nah, y'all
Worry about no cup.
funny. Y'all funny.
No, but
Hey,
we
Otis
really,
Harris, how you
we
doing? Thank
really
you for
had a
watching.
good time, and
Trying to pick up 2 pairs of shoes and coordinate around them. Girl, no! I can't wear no 2 pairs of shoes within a week. I can't do it, Melissa.
oh no,
You're going to have to pray for me, baby. I done changed
Which
3
Melissa
pairs of
is that?
shoes this today.
oh no,
Mr.
Melissa.
Triplett said that y'all can do conversations from your kitchen in his kitchen anytime.
Oh, see?
Oh wait, okay, so I met them through them, through him,
Mm-hmm.
right? Let me tell you how genuinely sincere this family is. He came back and said, Angie, if you're here
Yep.
and you ever need somewhere to stay, you are more than welcome to stay here.
Yep. And when you don't even know, he said, even if they ain't even with you.
That thing blew me away.
Yep.
And knowing, see, it's different because he know I have family there. Mm-hmm. So that could be any time.
Yeah.
But it just, that meant the world to us. And one more thing I want to say, you know, when you have a heart to give, people who aren't givers will try to stop you and tell you, don't do that.
Right.
Why are you doing that?
Right.
Who's going to do that for you? And who's doing that? You know, I used to give people at church, I would give them a ride, or I would take people to work and I would get caught up taking them and I didn't get paid. And people on the outside, why are you doing that? They're just using you. But let me tell you, those seeds, those collard greens came back up. Because while we were gone, somebody had to get my son back and forth to work.
Right.
And all I could think about was
and the upgrade
all those times
yeah.
when people were telling me, don't do this for somebody else.
Right.
Those same people, none of them were here
right.
to get my son
right.
to take him to work.
Absolutely.
That meant the world to me.
And y'all,
so when you're a giver, just give. Just do it.
We even got an upgrade on our rental.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we drove out of there in luxury.
Yes.
And we just
were
supposed to be getting we're supposed to be just getting a mid-sized car.
No, we're supposed to get a big car.
Yeah, but it wasn't supposed to be that one, right? So,
and we watch people who requested certain things and were promised certain vehicles come out with much smaller than they were promised. Much less
than what they were promised.
Ooh,
that's true.
He was hot.
He was hot. I've never seen a Jeep.
He wanted a Dodge Ram. You know how big that truck is. And he got a
Wrangler truck.
Jeep Wrangler
look
truck.
like y'all ain't a little truck. That
man
was hot. He was hot.
And the person in front of him got what he wanted.
Don't the devil do that? Somebody they said we don't have any more. This lady pulled right up with what? The truck he wanted. He said, hold up. I thought you said that woman, she about this tall. He about 6'6" or something. Yeah. She hopped her little self right in that truck and pulled right on off. So people were promised things that they didn't get. And we ended up getting something that we weren't promised. Right. You just never know when those collard greens are coming up.
Never know.
You never know.
And in what form. You never ever know.
But keep sowing. Keep being genuine. Keep giving. Keep loving. Keep being kind. Last week, we were on the way to walk. And I think it was last week, top of the week. Maybe week before last. And I went to get the squirrels some peanuts because they were out. And and they there was a gentleman walking and he said, "How are you?" And I said, "I'm pretty good. How are you?"
Top of the week last week.
And he was like, "I'm all right." And I said, "Sir, wait a minute. You gotta be better than all right." And I stopped and talked to the man, older gentleman, and he talked about how his wife was at home sick. And she couldn't get around. And how he didn't want to be selfish, but he was tired. Like physically drained, emotionally. Because it's hard to see your loved one going through and you can't do anything to help them. And I stopped and I talked to him. And I prayed for him, prayed with him right there in that parking lot. And let me tell you why. Because when my mom died, someone asked me how I was doing, and I said, "I'm all right." He said, "From this moment on, I never want you to respond that you're all right. The least I want you to say is, I'm pretty good. So when I see people and they're, I think back to that moment when I wanted to give up on life. I was done. And I felt just like, and somebody sold that into my life. And because of that, I feel obligated to sow that same love and kindness into the life of someone else. And I hope tonight that we have been able to sow something in your life.
Right. Absolutely.
That will not leave you the same way that you came.
Right.
I hope that we've said something that has caused you to want to keep going and not give up too soon. Hope we've said something that allowed you to see that your going, your doing, your giving is not in vain. It may not look like anything is happening. It may look, you might be in your fertilization stage when people just dropping poop all on your garden.
Right.
But that poop is going to help those collard greens come up. So whatever stage you're in, stay there. Be consistent. Don't do like I did with my garden and stop gardening. Keep going. Even when it's hot and you're sweating, keep being kind. Keep saying nice things. Because all that's doing, you're sowing. But one day, to be sure, it's going to be your reaping season. And just like it happened for us, it's going to come out of nowhere. And it's going to be undeniable. You cannot shake it off. It's going to overtake you.
And you might say from the words that we've said today, well, it was just kindness. It was just hospitality. I need money. I need tangible stuff. I need stuff I can put my hands on. I need sustenance. I need food for my children. I need whatever. But whatever it is that you need, right now, in this juncture of our life, we receive what we needed. It didn't have to be money. It didn't have to be stuff. Because everything else that we needed superseded those things at this moment. And those things will come.
If you hold on.
So whatever it is that you need, it comes when you need it. We needed that love. We needed that encouragement. We needed to see love in action. We needed to hear those words out of his mouth. It's something when a man speaks. Whether it's his words coming to another male or coming to a female, it's something when a man opens his mouth and speaks in authority. It does something to you. It can accomplish things that you have no idea what they're accomplishing on the inside of you. So don't be discouraged because our testimony wasn't that we went to Oklahoma and received money or a new car or a house. But we received exactly what we needed when we needed it. So that's why you can't stop sowing. That's why you can't give up too soon, because you never know the seeds that you sow. You may sow them in one form, but you don't know what form they're coming back in. But rest assured, like she said, they're coming up, but they're coming up as what you need when you need it. And with that being said, I think that's a good place to conclude. We thank you for holding on, you 7 viewers that are still watching. I'm going to look and see if there's any... Oh, thank you, Kevin, for that. And y'all, when you hear something from our show that touches your life, let us know. And it's not that we want to know because we want bragging rights or whatever, but just as we said, we went to Oklahoma and we got refreshed and renewed. Those comments, those things that we say, because we often say that whatever we talk about is not something we just chose to speak about. It's stuff that we lived through. Everything that we've said since we've been on Tuesday nights are things that we have lived ED through or are living ING through. So we need that push. We need that when something hits home with you. Just like Kevin said, he wasn't going to tune in at all, but he's glad he did it now. And see, that again gives us fuel to go on another week. Because let me tell you, by the time the weekend rolls around and we get through Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and Monday come, and Tuesday, let me tell you, we've met all kind of opposition.
That's right.
That comes to stop this show from happening.
Even on Tuesday
You do
night.
not know the fight for consistency that happens around Conversations from the Kitchen.
That's right.
But we've seen, because we've come every
That's
single
right.
Tuesday night since the inception of this show, that consistency is spilling over into the rest of our lives. Do you realize how tired I was this morning? We didn't get in the house till after 1 o'clock this morning. I didn't want to get up and go walking this morning, but I made a promise to myself. And I won't let myself down anymore.
After
That
today.
I was going. And I slept late, and I went late, and I didn't do as much as I normally do, but I went.
Yes.
So when we say something, not for us to have bragging rights, but just to give us some more fuel to keep going.
That's right.
One of my friends in Mississippi called me last week, and she said, girl,
Go, that's it.
you will have folks believing that they can do anything. She is a massage therapist. That's one of her jobs. And she said, I can have 5 fingers broke. And you going to say, hey, but that other hand is anointed. Get the massaging folks with that other hand. She said, that's what I walk away with when I watch your show. I walk away with that push that I can do anything. And don't you know how much that helped me? Because every week the thought comes, tell them, give them some excuse. They won't know.
Yep.
I'm telling you, it comes. And a lot of times it's not even an excuse. It's real life.
That's right.
Today,
Real life.
I could have said, shoot, I'm tired. I've been traveling for the last 2 weeks. I'm literally tired of my body. I never go to sleep in the middle of the day. I came home from walking and went straight to sleep. Because I was tired. But I was doing that because I knew I had a date with you guys tonight. And I couldn't break that. Neither could she. You know, I didn't have a way to communicate with her today. She didn't have a way to communicate with me today. We didn't walk like we normally do on Tuesday mornings together and talk about the show. I wasn't quite sure if we were going to have one. Because I didn't know what was going to happen. You know? And I didn't know if I was quite sure if I wanted to do it by myself, if I had to. But the push that we receive from you guys, it keeps us going. It really does. This has changed our lives. This brought an order, a sense of order that we didn't have before.
That's right.
And I can't repay you guys for nothing else but to just come and be consistent. And I hope that something that we say or something that we do or laugh or a scripture that we reference or whatever it may be touches your lives so that you go and you spread that same joy and same encouragement to someone else. That's all we can ask, is that you continue to allow it to go. You don't allow it to stop. You continue to pay it forward.
This has been Conversations from the Kitchen with...
That don't stop me. I'll keep going.
With
Traci
and Angie.
Good night, guys.
Good night.